Hey guys, this is prerequisite information that you're going to need from probability. A lot of you said you didn't remember having seen it before, or it wasn't covered in your earlier classes, but you definitely need to know about it. Combinatorics, the investigation of the different possibilities for arrangement of objects. It's the different combinations you can make. And we've got several things that we'll do. The counting principle, so that you know how to just count things, because you need to know that too. All right. Independent events, events that do not affect each other. Like you've got a bunch of marbles in the bag, you draw the marble out and you put it back. Then each time you draw the marble out, it's an independent event. Or take a card out of a deck. If you put it back, then the next time you do that, it's independent. Dependent events do affect each other. So if you draw that marble out and you don't put it back, you have fewer marbles the next time, and that makes them dependent on each other. A factorial is the number with an exclamation point, and it equals the number multiplied, counting backwards until you get to 1. Okay? 0 factorial is defined as 1. So if you ever see 0 factorial, it's 1. But something like 5 factorial would be 5 times 4, just counting down till you get to 1. And they're all multiplied together. So 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And that actually equals 120. Permutations, the arrangement of objects in a certain order. Okay, so if I always think of permutations like president and vice president, things that are in order, and it makes a difference which one's president, which one's vice president. Combinations, I always think of committees. If somebody's on a committee, and they don't have a specific duty, they're just on a committee together, then the order is not important. You can name them however you want to. It doesn't make any difference. Probability, the measure of a chance of desired outcome happening. Probability is what we're getting into with probability distributions, and so it does become important to know how to do probability. Okay? Yvette is a freshman at the University of Miami. She's planning her fall schedule next year. She has a choice of 3 mathematics courses, 2 science courses, and 2 humanities courses. She can only select 1 course from each area. How many course schedules are possible? Well, this is done in a tree diagram. You've got 3 math courses, and then 2 science courses, and then 2 humanities courses. So you've got 3 choices times 2 choices times 2 more choices, make it a total of 12 choices. The tree diagram will help you actually write down what the choices are. Okay? But that is the basic counting principle, fundamental principle. Either one. Vicki works for a bookstore. Her manager asked her to arrange a set of 5 bestsellers for display. The display is to be set up as shown below. The display is made up of 1 book from each of 5 categories. There are 4 nonfiction, 4 science fiction, okay, 3 history, 3 romance, and 3 mystery books from which to choose. Now, this is where the basic counting principle comes in again. Okay. How many different ways can Vicki choose books for the display? Well, you've got these all multiplied out here. And 16 times 9 is 144. Times 3 is 432. Okay. Are the choices for each book independent or dependent? Well, the fact of the matter is they are independent, because it does not matter. This choice of a nonfiction doesn't affect my choice of science fiction doesn't affect my choice of history. So, these are independent, and you've got, by multiplying them all out, 432 different ways this could happen. Permutations. Okay. Number of permutations in objects taken n at a time is defined as n factorial. The number of permutations of n objects taken r at a time. What that means is if I've got 6 things and I'm going to take them all 6 at a time, then it's just going to be a factorial. 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay? Because following this one, you have 6 of 3 and 6, that means you're just going to have 3 spaces, which is 6 times 5 times 4, or 6 factorial over 6 minus 3 factorial, which is 6 factorial over 3 factorial. Now, 3 factorial is just 3, 2, 1. So if you're dividing by 3, 2, 1, you cancel out. But this is also why we just have 6 times 5 times 4. You only have 3 slots for this to happen. That's what this is talking about. And if you follow the rules, that'd be 6 factorial over 6 minus 6 factorial is 6 factorial over 0 factorial, which I already told you, where was it? Was 1. Okay? So 6 factorial over 1 is just what we have here. Okay? During a judging of a horse show at the Fairfield County Fair, there are 3 favorite horses, Ryman, Oiler, and Sea of Gus. Are the selection of first, second, and third place for the 3 horses independent or dependent events? Well, in this case, they would be dependent events, because if you select Ryman for first, then he's out of the running. These 2 are the only ones that can come in second or third. Okay? So they would have to be dependent events. You've removed one from the selection. Assuming there are no ties and the 3 favorites finish in the top 3 places, how many ways can the horses win first, second, and third place? Well, for the first slot, you've got 3 choices. But once one is chosen, you've now only got 2. And the last one, you've only got 1. So this is 6 different ways. And if you want to find out exactly how many, what they are, the selections are, you would have Ryman, then either Oiler and that, or Ryman, either C and third. So these would be your 3 choices for first, second, and third. Okay? You also can do this on Desmos. Okay? Let's get a graphing calculator. And right here, you would, it's below it, but I'm going to hit that function button and hit the functions over here. Now, let me get that where you can see it. This functions, and you're going to have distributions, stats. NCR and NPR. NPR is your permutation. You'll hit that before you put in any numbers. But once you put it in, you then put in the number and then however many you're doing it with. And actually what we had there was 3 horses, taken 3 at a time. And it tells you right there, it's 6. Okay? So you definitely want to be able to do that. Okay. The Board of Directors of BELA Technology Consultants is composed of 10 members. How many different ways can all the members at the conference table as shown? Order is important because once somebody sits down, he's not eligible to use any of the other ones. So that's the permutation of 10 things, 10 people, taken 10 at a time. And that's multiplied all the way down, which gives you this. So 3,628,800. And you actually can type this in here. And you've got it is right here when you hit the ABC button. When you hit the ABC button, there's your factorial, or it will just let you type it in. 10 and then shift, and you'll get the answer right there. So we'll let you type it in, or you can put it in on the keyboard that they give you. All right. So you have the 3 million plus ways. Okay. In how many ways can they elect a chairperson, vice chairperson, treasurer, and secretary, assuming that one person cannot hold more than one office? Well, this is 4 people being chosen out of the 10, and because they have specific duties that they are supposed to be doing, it'll be 10 people taken 4 at a time. So if you go to Desmos and you want the calculator to do it, you're going to have the functions again, and stats. You'll have permutation. Whoops, I didn't move down to the next one. You'll have the permutation of 10 things. Well, slipped out of the blue. 10 things taken 4 at a time. And there you get your 50/40. Okay? So, just like it says right here, there we go. It's not moving for me. Okay, 50/40 is what we got. This is 13 minutes. It's getting a little long, so let me go ahead and cancel this one, and we'll start over in just a second.